Welcome back to you for another most special and yummy update, my friends. So the FTX exchange collapse in 2022 is finally coming to the end now. They are going to send $5 billion of funds to all the customers. So they're going to go and finally send out all that money from everybody out here. Now, the most depressing, I guess, part about it, of that is for everyone who lost in FTX, what they did is they marked the prices in November when it collapsed. So Bitcoin's price was 15,000 and Ethereum, I think, was around 1,100 or 1,300. So when you get back your money, you only get back the dollar amount from those price quotes. Now, there's only one coin you can buy where everybody basically got destroyed, and that's Hex. Because Hex is still lower than what it was on FTX. So yes, technically, it actually is true. You would have more money losing all your money in FTX and getting your claim back. Okay, so this is just personally, like, this is what I will do because I know this opportunity. This is me, right? So if I lost money in FTX, so a lot of people lost money. Like, there's one trader I was watching, and his name's Kane. Shout out to Kane out there. I think he's one of like he got like funded as a prop trader, made like 1.8 million. He trades just like short-term trading stuff. Now, I was listening to his one of his the Dark podcast trading interviews. He lost like 700 grand. He had basically like 70% of his net worth, I think, in FTX. He said at the time he had 700,000. He was in FTX. He lost all of it, and he's picked himself back up. He made 1.8 million trading after that, but he doesn't even touch crypto anymore. He says he's so burned out from crypto. He basically just left. Never wants to touch it ever again because of that. But yeah, because when we look at FTX, if you look at where Hex was back when FTX collapsed, Hex was, wow, man, that's wild. Hex was 2.9 cents. If you look at FTX right here. So it was actually 3 cents. So my gosh. So eHex is 88% down. I think combined Hex, if I just quickly check it out here for you, if you look at the combined Hex price, we have the CHEX. Very, very useful. Thank you to Mr. Dipcatcher for that as well. CHEX is about 1 cent. So there you go. So if you lost, so Hex was basically, let's just say 3 cents, yeah? 3 cents back at FTX collapse, now it's 1 cent. So it's literally one of the only and very uniquely rare, in a bad way, coins that's actually like destroyed from FTX since the FTX price collapse. So that's what you, obviously, no financial advice. That's what I will do. So like, let's say, I had money in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I was on FTX. Let's say someone had, like, you get like 10 grand or whatever it is. But I would take a punt and do that because, like, you can't go back and buy your Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, you can get about, of your Ethereum, you can get about half of it back. Half of it, because Ethereum is not 1,300 anymore. It's 2,600, okay? So you can buy back. So if you lost 1 ETH on there, you could buy back half an ETH, right? But for Bitcoin, you can only buy back like 1/8. You can only buy back 10% almost of your BTC, 10 or 12%. So that's what personally I will do. I'd go punt it, but that's me, friends. Not financial advice. I'm a high risk taker, and obviously I believe in the community, and we know that's destined for greatness. But yeah, that's one of the things that you just go through. So this might act as a stimulus for the crypto industry. So a lot of people are doubtful. They go, oh, these people will never touch money again. Come on, bro. All we got to do is throw some nice green candles in their face, and trust me, they will be coming to gamble, because I'll be doing new coins, new logos and stuff out here. FTX users were some of the biggest degens in the trenches during the last market. So yeah, it's very interesting how that all played out. Yeah, FTX as well, friends. Whenever they got whenever any coin was listed on the exchange, they would literally just dump it only. It literally, everything got listed, it was literally straight dump. Everything on the exchange was, and everyone just let it happen, So one of those parts. Also, just to show you, friends, FTX, Soy Bankman-Fried was a very gifted investor. Very gifted. All of his long-term bets, they made a lot of money. Like, oh man, one of the biggest crimes ever. They forced him to sell. He invested in this company that ended up being a competitor to OpenAI, ChatGPT. And his stake should be worth $16 billion right now. Okay, but they made him sell it for like 50 million or something stupid, or 500 million less. I think 50, maybe $100 million. Yeah, they forced him to sell for 100 million, but it's worth 16 billion. If they allowed him to keep that investment, every investor would be able to make whole and actually make money off it. but they forced him to jeet the lows. That's why, friends, I have a jeet phobia. If you look it up, jeet phobia, where you have this phobia of selling the lows. Maybe look on some at PulseChain as well. Yeah, friends, I'm going to show you this. This is one of the 4-panel, always these mid-curve podcasts where they get a bunch of people out here and they just try to say, oh, the industry, and they just try to describe stuff, but they're all from like VC perspectives. It's not like, and they're always like shitting on trenches people. So basically, they're almost like, they don't believe in any coin unless you can get a VC deal. That's the kind of vibe you're getting out here. Like, oh, there's no real team building and stuff out here. But where's a Bitcoin team? You know, Bitcoin's the only thing that crushed everything, right? So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of gaping holes in a lot of this stuff. But then you realize it's just the VC model. You know what I mean? Like, it's in the next cycle will be another new narrative. There's some people who are just short-term mercenary traders. They can't add any value to anybody else. They just make you feel like you get these dopamine hit because you think you're learning something when really you're not learning shit. And then you have these other VC partners as well. But I found this just funny, friends. Just listen to this. So basically, Jordi Alexander, he says, he's going to say basically, he goes, the government did some good stuff by dropping the cases against Kraken and Uniswap. He goes, but they went too far because they dropped it against Richard Hart,
etc. So that's not great. On the other hand, them dropping, lawsuits against fucking Kraken and Coinbase and Uniswap is very good. Now, maybe they went too far. You see like Richard Hart celebrating his victory against the SEC as if he's like the Messiah. This guy's he's something else. So, they're gonna. I think net is still good. Given like the.
That's kind of funny, man. Just how badly, friends, they want us to lose.
The sun is killing my buzz. That's why they call it morning.
The crypto industry is in so much cope and seething hatred. So, obviously, friends, Jordi Alexander, very smart guy, does trading and stuff out here. But there's one call I just want to remind you of. He said, and don't forget this, okay? So I just want to show you because look, he basically kept saying Hex is going to collapse, yeah, and then it did. But friends, okay. If I wanted to be the highest win rate genius in crypto, do you know what I would do? All right. I would go out and tell every single altcoin community, your coin is going to die. And then I would just mark it on a frame it. And guess what? I'd have a 99% win rate. Saying coins are going to freaking collapse. What does that do? Okay. Oh, wow. 99% of the... Imagine you went to every single business. You're going to be out of business in the next 5 years. Wow. You got a high win rate, bro. You literally got a high win rate. Okay, friends, imagine you go to a marathon race. There's 100 people about to run the race, and you went to every single person. You're gonna lose. Guess what? One person wins, and you go to like second place to like last. You're like, I told you were gonna lose. Look at my amazing ability to read the future. He said Soylana would never ever hit the all-time high. So after Soylana collapsed here, he said 0% chance this thing ever hits the all-time high, right? So what did it do from that moment? Literally, pop, up only, okay? So I'm just showing you like, and yeah, it's Soylana, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean like every coin is going to come back. It doesn't, but this is basically just bubbling up in the whole crypto industry. Like people really, really want PulseChain to fail. They really want Richard Hart to fail. And it's funny that they really think, oh, they dropped the case against Richard Hart. Like, didn't even read anything, bro. He literally beat the SEC. Do you understand what they were trying to do? They were trying to claim jurisdiction of a freaking blockchain, okay? Now, I know there's a lot of VCs, and these guys are just trading. They don't believe in decentralization or anything anyway, right? They're just here for the price action part. The ramifications are extremely detrimental to everyone if the governments just start saying, guess what? We own the blockchain. We own the blockchain. You have to tax all of us. So we have to tax all of you, and you actually have no power anymore. So, not that anyone they don't give a crap about stuff like that. That's why, friends, when I see the PulseChain price chart, okay, and I'm imagining stuff like this, when I'm just imagining us breaking out here, I'm not just thinking of a green candle. I'm not just thinking of a beautiful, sweet, thick green candle that can barely fit in your mouth. I'm not just thinking about that. I'm thinking about the tears of haters where I'm like, bro, how did you watch a retardio like me put together the business cycle, Metcalfe's law, the network effects. 170 content creators. It survived -99%. The cult within the cult, if you want to go even a step further. How did you watch all of this stuff, get given a 90% plus discount, and still walk away from it? That's what's going to be, just fascinating, friends. That's why you show in this game, it's not actually what smart is, you know what I mean? There's a different type of intelligence here. It depends how hungry you are to win. Also, shout out to my friend, Mr. Hoggy Hog. Rumor has it that when these guys travel, they always stay in the same room. Thank you very much, friends. Thank you very much. All these comments out here come. Mr. Hex Turbo. Also, shout out to Mr. Hoggy Hog as well for doing a nice update. He's got a video here. 7 reasons why PulseChain is the ultimate retail onboarding machine.
Are passionate. That's the reason why we have 170 content creators, because Richard inspires people. And I believe it's comeback season. It's going to be huge.
There you go, friends. So we're speaking of layman people, because this is what we all care about, bro. Like, it's just, friends, they always fall into the same trap. They go, oh, there's a cult thing, and oh, you guys are all silly and stupid. I'm like, bro, you walked away from Bitcoin early because it was a cult. Did you know that? The cult of Satoshi? No, you don't know that. I did the research. Well. So they don't believe until the price go up. That's it. Okay, friends, they're just like girls. You ever hear that saying, friends? All the red pill dudes always say. They say, girls don't want to marry somebody running a race. They wait at the finish line. They marry the winner. I've heard that saying out here. They literally just replace that with girls. Now it's men, and instead of winners in a race, it's altcoins. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to buy you cheap. They want to wait at the finish line and buy it. Also, be careful, friends. Here is Hasbulla. Hasbulla. Well, look. Okay. Never trust a baby without a diaper. We all know that. Okay, in your hands, they're cute. Okay, don't shake them around too much. You know me, I'm really popular with the kids. Always do the helicopter spin and stuff with them. Just be careful. They're like, whoa, just watch out. Watch out. He just ate. You know what I mean? Never trust a baby without a diaper. Hasbulla, one hell of a baby here. He just rugged about $10.5 million. So we got a baby on the run here. $10.5 million richer. What's he going to be buying? Milk bottles. Check out his crib. Might have gold rims on it. So, Instagram influencer Hasbulla, you've seen him around, friends. Hasbulla is, pretty much all over Instagrams out here. Like I say, friends, okay? Make sure he's wearing a diaper. You cannot trust him. Now he's basically rugged everybody, $10, $11 million. Obviously, he got hooked up with the team, and they're like, here's a cat with his cat name was Barshik. And he's like, oh no, my cat is named Barshik. I hope nobody makes a meme coin out of it. Haha, somebody made a meme coin out of it. It was literally 5 minutes later. It was the most planned. It's they're not even trying at this point. Oh, man, it's kind of funny. Don't forget, friends, PulseChain is still very, very low against Ethereum. We're still 75% below the SAC price from 4 years ago. So hopefully the business cycle gets to basically crank up, and then we'll be able to continue. Everybody in crypto is watching James Wynn. James Wynn, friends, because he's got a very highly dangerous leverage long, $40 million plus. We all thought it was psyops. No, it's actually real. And yeah, it's very dangerous, as in he got stop hunted. He had to quickly sell his position, and he dropped it by a few $1,000s, his liquidation price for Bitcoin from 108 to 105. Just don't do that. Don't do that, man. Leverage trading. Get you wrecked, man. Because I know what I have to do to win. And I'm like, well, there's definitely 99 out of 100 people are not doing that, right? And spot altcoin, you get to outperform and crush everybody as well, right? What does the T in Tether stand for? Trash. Okay, so 75% of you and 25% of you also all unanimously agree that the T in Tether stands for trash. Tether is speaking at the... Oh, thank you, Mr. Hextram Hex as well. Tether users trying to send money. This famous picture. There you go. Watermelon right in the face. Yeah, so Tether is... They got a special speaking spot at the Bitcoin conference, which is kind of funny because, firstly, you don't even deploy on the Bitcoin chain. That's how little you think of use case it has on. You're on Ethereum. That's where you make all your money, firstly. Secondly, you're doing CBDC currency. You are literally the reason why Bitcoin was invented in the first place from Satoshi, because he didn't want governments to just put stop buttons on people's bank accounts. So it's kind of funny. So Bitcoin's meant to be the Trojan horse to the US fiat system, but then they just come and invite Tether. They're like, oh, hey, another Trojan horse. Why don't you come in? Don't forget, friends, most important part, only the strongest of believers are going to make it. But if you've made it this far, I can pretty much tell you're going to crush it. We all are going to crush it. They couldn't kill us. They try to wipe us out with every single type of move they can. I think now it's time for us to crank it. Business PMI comes out next week, but remember, it's reflective of the business cycle out here. So let's hope we make it to the end. Like, subscribe, really better, and all. Catch you soon.